Warren, it's good to talk to you offline.
Yeah.
You know, we're always in our offices with our clients, but I'm curious because we do the same thing. We counsel.
Right.
But with me in the New Day program and you in the New Life program, sometimes we have the same client who makes it through the New Day program and then decides to go into the 16-month program.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what you see in these clients because it becomes a longer timeline and things start to mature.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm curious what your thoughts are on how someone comes to understand the gospel of Jesus Christ. Maybe they knew it before they came to New Day. Maybe they first heard it in New Day. But you're seeing something that maybe I'm not seeing. It's quite an interesting experience to be in a residential program where you get to hear the gospel every day. What are some of your observations?
Yeah, so I think this with any person, right? I think we understand the gospel better over time. You know, I heard one person say that the gospel isn't just something that we need for salvation. The gospel is something that we need for all of Christian life.
Oh, that's so
true.
You
know, and so I even think about my own life, and it's like, okay, you know, hearing the gospel, the good news, but just over time, just seeing how much the good news entails, that Christ is my righteousness, Christ is my Redeemer, that He did all this for me, and sanctification and justification, all these different things are like, whoa. And so, I think guys coming in, I think the gospel sinks in, if that makes
That's
any,
great. Yeah.
any sense.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Do you ever get any questions like, oh, I didn't know the gospel was relevant to this area of my life. I didn't know He cared about my relationships or my marriage or my choice of entertainment. Do you find yourself having to give practical steps or apply the gospel to different things that arise in the counseling session?
I think being able to show that the gospel applies to all of who I am and what I say and what I do in my marriage, to how I raise my kids, to, oh man, there are some relationships I need to go back and reconcile. Why?
Right.
Because Christ has reconciled me to the Father. And so now I need to go and be an agent of reconciliation. Yeah.
So that must be pretty dramatic for guys that are going to return to relationships, family relationships, where it was 180 degrees from the gospel.
Right.
And now they have a new view of life itself.
Yeah.
And it must be something to walk them through what it's going to look like to ease family members into this new gospel man that's coming out of this program.
Yeah.
Do they seem anxious, or is it excitement, or what challenges do you face in kind of rethinking the gospel through another person's eyes?
I think there is that bit of angst, going back to a relationship where they might have known them one way, but then they come back and they, and they're not the same person who they were in the past. That fear of man, how are they going to receive me? If I come back and have this gospel conversation, and every other time we talk, I'm talking about drugs and alcohol and cigarettes. How am I going to be perceived as this new man in Christ?
Now it's about Jesus.
Now it's about Jesus,
reading
and
the Bible,
church and the Bible, and and oh man, and I get to go out and share the good news, and it can be a bit different, But again, I don't think it's any different than anyone else, who's come out of a life of sin,
right,
and becoming a new creature in Christ. Yeah.
And the church is certainly there to help them.
Yes.
And that may be a new experience. Maybe they're going to church for the first time. Maybe it's a different type of church. Maybe it's regular attendance where it was spotty before. But are there challenges in how they come to understand the church and its role in their life moving forward? Do you find yourself telling them about small groups or what we're supposed to do together on Sunday and all of that? How does that figure in?
I think it's trying to convey the need for the church.
Okay.
And And that the church is just another means of fellowship, right? And so now I'm no longer fellowshipping with the people on the street who I used to fellowship with. I have this new family in Christ.
A different fellowship.
Yeah, you know, and that this fellowship is closer than the fellowship out there, because this isn't a person who just can leave me on my worst day. No, you know, this is a family, and this family loves me. This family cares about me, and these are now my brothers and sisters in Christ.
Yeah, and I think that's an important distinction.
Yeah.
I mean, even Christians around the country in a variety of circumstances, sometimes their best friends are not those at their church. So when they start going to a church more often, then it's important to emphasize that this is the family of God.
Right.
And it may not feel like that at first. There's sometimes on our worst days where we butt heads, but that support system is one of exchange. As you mentioned, maybe they had a fellowship on the streets that wasn't helpful for them, and now they're being asked to go join a fellowship that's foreign, but at the same time sharing the gospel in common.
I think we live in such a disconnected world now,
Sure.
you know, and I think that people are looking for fellowship, a place where I can belong, you know. That's why people go to the club on Saturday night. That's why people go down to the bar. I mean, you know, I'm looking for a place here, you know, a place where I can connect, you know, and I think that that's what the church does.
And maybe one of the things in common that we see today is isolation.
Isolation, right.
Social media, screens, or whatever it is. It seems like there's every resource out there to make you have your own little world, but not enough of the ones that bond us together. And so the church can seem like a relic at times, because we gather in person, and it's not just looking at a sermon on YouTube. And I know a lot of our clients come from isolated pasts, and now they're being invited into a fellowship that is life-giving.
Right.
Now, I understand they go to church on Sundays while in the program. Is that like the training? Do you find that they're responding to it well, this fellowship on a regular basis for maybe the first time?
I do. I think there can be some apprehension, of course, but, you know, I think with time, you know, I think that that's the hope to, you know, okay, let me expose you to this, and then hopefully once you complete the program, hopefully you become connected with the local body of believers.
Like a new comfort zone.
Yes.
Maybe it feels like growing pains, stretching that comfort zone on the way, but the goal being at the end of it, we can launch them into something that's already become normal to them, a new family of God. And they can grow as a Christian in the fellowship for which they were intended. Good stuff. Thanks, Cam.
No problem.